It's a great day, guys. I'm back to work after my week of vacation. It's a great day. I've actually wanted to make this video for a while, since before I started this channel actually, but I knew that if I made this video I had to have specific examples, and although I had those examples, they happened to me a while ago, so I don't really remember them well enough for them to really be useful. But luckily, a few examples happened to me recently, so I can finally make this video. We have gotten to a point where we are afraid of someone being kind to us. Now I know this doesn't apply to everyone, but I have noticed it in a lot of people, so I want to talk about it. To give you an example of what I mean, I'll tell you a story that happened to me a few weeks ago. I was walking around downtown, and as I approached a street corner, I noticed that off to my right there was a guy sitting on a step, and I didn't pay him any mind. I just kept going, hit the button a few times, a lot of times, and waited. But then while I'm waiting, I heard the guy say, "Excuse me, miss." So I looked over. This man sitting on the step looked to be probably in his 40s or 50s, and he was holding a vase full of red roses. And he asked me if I wanted one, to which I declined politely, just said, "No thank you, that's really nice, but no thanks." And he chatted with me a little bit while I was on the street corner, and then I moved on. I walked around for probably close to an hour, and then I decided to go home. But to go home, I was gonna pass by that street corner again, but I figured he was probably gone, and even if he wasn't, he was a nice enough guy, so it didn't seem like really any kind of problem. This time I walked up to the corner that was kitty corner across the street from the original corner that I walked across, and he was there, offering me a rose again, joking that it would look really good with the dress that I was wearing that day. And I just laughed and said, "No thank you, I'm good," and I moved on. That was all well and civil, but I have to admit, that guy freaked me out a bit. But why should something like that make me uncomfortable? I started asking myself this because I knew from the second that he started talking to me that I was uncomfortable. But he seemed like the nicest guy in the world, so why? The more I thought about it, the more I realized that we have essentially learned to not trust each other. So many of us think that everyone else could have an agenda, and I mean, it's possible that I am just more paranoid than a lot of people. It's extremely possible. But even when I'm trying to be objective about it, I can't say that my fears are entirely unfounded. Now, is it possible that my more insane thoughts about what that guy might want were very likely false? I'm sure that they weren't true at all, actually. I mean, the simplest answer is just that he wanted to brighten people's day, so he went downtown with roses and handed them out. But it's really hard to just trust a random person who's giving you something. Another instance of this happened just last week. I mentioned that I was on vacation last week while I went on a holiday. And while on vacation in another city, downtown, watching freestyle hip-hop and breakdancing and knitting, let's just blow past that, I had a guy come up to me and just ask if he could sit with me for a while and chat. And I said sure. But I have to admit that, especially since I was knitting and my hands weren't really free, and he sat down to me on the side that had my bag sitting there, I was a little bit suspicious. Turns out he's a nice guy. I mean, no problems, but I couldn't help but kind of wonder if I should be okay with this. Like I said before, I'm sure I'm more paranoid than just the average person out there, but I don't think my fears are entirely unfounded. I don't like how I feel that we have to be afraid of people who we don't know who are being nice to us. I don't like feeling that way, but honestly, I don't really know what to do about it. I wish I could just say, everything will be fine, you can just go out and accept roses from anyone and it'll all be fine, but I'm not really convinced that it will be fine. So I don't really know what to do about the situation, but I just wanted to talk about it because I haven't seen anyone else talk about it, and I know it's been bothering me for a while. So it's possible it's been bothering some of you as well. I would say see you next week, but life has been pretty hectic, so I'll just say I'll see you when I see you. Take care.